Hello, Espresso fan. Welcome back to another pour of Starknet Espresso, where we spotlight projects and ecosystem builders. I'm your host, Uche. Today, our focus is on Fibrous Finance, the first DeFi aggregator on Starknet. If you've ever wondered how to get the best token swap prices without worrying about which AMM to use, Fibrous is already doing the heavy lifting for you. Joining us today is Caner Budak, Business Development and Partnership at Fibrous. Let's get into it.
Welcome, Jonah, to the Starknet Espresso. It's such a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you so much. It's nice to be in there because I was following up your contents because you have made interviews in the Starknet Espresso with the OGs on the Starknet. So nice to be in here, and I hope we had a good speech about the Fibrous and about myself, and will making a sense for the people who is watching your videos.
Thank you very much. It's nice to know you've been watching the channel. Without wasting much time, can you introduce yourself to our audience and probably just tell us a bit about your role in Fibrous?
Of course. To be honest, I'm just got deep dive on the crypto as a start of my professional work life because I'm 23. I'm still a younger, and I started to build on the tech in the engineer-wise manner within to crypto and the Web3 sector. And right now, I'm basically getting responsibilities about all the soft tech things in the Fibrous, like having a business development things and the partnerships, internal operations and the communication. And I'm almost doing my best for representing the Fibrous in the various external and the internal channels. So in anywhere you see the Fibrous, you can see me, and I'm doing my best to present it well about that. And as a background, actually, I've started to doing many technical things while in the 2019s in the Web3. It's been a good while for the directly transition to the building on the crypto sector. And before to crypto, I worked as an operation person as a corporate firm. But however, my involvements has started within the IT blockchain. It's one of the first blockchain societies based on the Turkey. And at the IT blockchain, I organized many crypto events about both in the technical and the community part of it. And I took a part of many onboardings in the Web3, especially for the local community. So it was nice to be in there because I've attended to many hackathon projects to build on the POCs and had the chance to meet with people all around the world while onboarding the people in the local communities. I have created the contents, I have organized the events, I've joined the hackathon, and it gave me a chance to see that to many different part of working on the crypto before to involve the product. And after that, I was feeling good about doing a research. So I started worked as an analyst in the one of the Web3 startup called as Litera. Then I've involved to a Starknet Turkey community established by the Tobikiti, and we get to know each other for a good time. So that's why we started to build the Fibrous together after a good time within two different founding members involved by the Starknet Turkey. And yeah, right now we are building a Fibrous as a project that serves both and started as an experimental way in the Starknet. And right now it turned into be a gateway of many of the on-chain users in the different networks. And within all these details, maybe I can jump down to what's Fibrous. Basically, Fibrous is a price fetching protocol designed to deliver the best possible trade execution for on-chain trade users. It analyzes complex trade routes to identify the most efficient options while securing the optimal prices, while minimizing the gas fees and the commission fees by the decentralized exchanges and the interface. Our advanced aggregation algorithm is looking forward to all the possible scenarios and creating a one route for you for your on-chain trades for every token and every option in a network. And that's the thing we wanted to dedicate it to do as best. Keep everything as simple, do a many complicated thing, but while in the interface, we are just facing with a one single and based option for that. And that's the reason why we have pivoted to build the Fibrous. And yeah.
Great, great. I think one of the things that I find also remarkable about Fibrous is the approach. The UI is very, very, I would say, very friendly because, I know other aggregators that work similarly, but one thing that differentiates Fibrous is the idea that I can see the routing which platform is being to use for each particular swap. I can see it real time. And I find it when you talk about transparency and decentralization, I think that's one of the what would you say things that you guys have implemented in your platform, and I find it very, 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 very remarkable. Um, just to because sorry, you can go ahead.
Actually, it's something we wanted to pay attention a bit more because sometimes it's like, okay, in the crypto, the infrastructure level and the tech teams are amazing, but when it comes to the app layer and the applications, we were still feeling like not the best experiments. It's also same for the Fibrous UX. We are always doing a research about and comparing within two different dApps. It's not just in the DeFi. We are just looking to almost every interfaces on the Web3 and the crypto for to be sure about what can be something different and still be able to best way to represent to users. And I'm believing that that will be get way better in the futures. But doing a good user interface and always doing a research about the UX is the one of the things we always wanted to do as best.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think your UX is one of the best that I've seen in the ecosystem. I think one other thing I was going to ask is how do you deal with fragmented liquidity on your platform?
It's a really good question. Actually, that's the answer of to expressing to how the Fibrous is working. Basically, it can be a bit different by the DEX aggregators, but if I explain for the Fibrous is that we are just taking a look at all the liquidity knowledge in a network to be sure about the simultaneous situation of the liquidity of each of the liquidity sources we have integrated. And it means that almost all the liquidity in a network. Basically, we are just indexing and scanning all the liquidity in a network, starting by the AMMs and gathering the different providers like the solvers and just like API providers or the private market makers. And we are creating a good base of the liquidity data. And using this database, Fibrous' advanced routing algorithm, basically an algorithm that's always matching this data to and taking a look to your requirements as the input and output token data and showing that, okay, your route will be like that. And that's the best way you can do a trades in both gas cost and the commission fees in every manner. That's the best way of the trading. And it's showing a way to trade to our smart contract. And when you interact within the swap button, you are just going to hit within the smart contract has been get the route by to our basically infrastructure. And it's giving you the best way of that. And within that approach, you are just looking at all the fragmented liquidity by the different liquidity sources. We are scanning all of them and giving a route to way to make it as best. So, and yeah, that can be a good summarization of how we are solving the fragmented liquidity.
Truly, truly remarkable. I mean, considering the fact that you guys are the first aggregator on Starknet, I actually found out recently that this is the case. That you guys, and I must say, to be able to sustain that, this development and how you guys have went about your business is truly remarkable, which is what leads me to the next question, because I see Star Rock NFTs and I'm like, okay, what is this about? What Star Rock NFTs about?
Uh, Actually, that was like a experimental thing we wanted to do because when it comes to the early days of the Starknet, the whole the things, the scaling level, the execution capability, uh, everything was a bit experimental for the each of the pioneers building on the Starknet. And we were just feeling like, okay, we have built Fibrous and it will be get better within to all these improvements. But we were still feeling like in search of the finding something we wanted to do as experimental to contribute both the Starknet community and to get a good OGs to Fibrous. So within that, in search of mutual relationship, we have wanted to pivot a good way to creating a NFT community. And we were doing a due diligence to what the DeFi apps did differently according in that manner. And we have found a few option that maybe this last year can be a good option of the most of the new layer twos or new DeFi apps getting in front with the new NFT collections for especially before their TGs.
Mm.
And in the 2023, it was not like a wide adoption to make it that. So we wanted to create a good NFT collection within to legit supply and to showing a good use cases for to user will interact with that. So that's the reason why we have created the Starkracks, because
Oh,
we wanted to create a good mutual point for getting an interaction between the NFT collection to Fibrous, getting from together, doing a long-term plans and legit plans with that, and getting onboarded to OGs of the Fibrous within NFTs. So that will make sense for us to feel like, okay, I'm one of the OGs and feeling like one of the founder part of the Fibrous in that way. And as an experimental way, we maybe get originated by the. Do you know the DivideX has a collection like a divided PFPs, and they are giving a discounted while in the
yeah,
commission fees,
yeah.
and it took our attention for to making a use case for the Starkrats, and we have stated as the Starkrats owner will not pay any commission fees in the first step, and right now they are not paying any gas fees on the while using the Fibrous. And within that use case, we have wanted to widespread that ideas. And in the near future, we will be expand the Starkracks to different networks, but it will always stay as a Starkracks because always reminding a good timeline of the building on the Starknet in the early days, because it's just like a place and there are many things to do. And that was everything was going a bit experimental. So yeah, it will stay as a OG collection of the Fibrous. Is dedicatedly showing that to people which is wanted to be part of to around the Fibrous.
I think it's quite a good approach, because that's why I asked. I saw it and I'm like, oh God, I've missed out on, I've missed out on this. But yeah, I completely understand the approach. Rewarding early users, early adopters on the platform. I think it's a good approach. I look at Fibrous and I look at it. I see a platform that is dedicated to making things simpler and easier and cheaper for people using the platform, which is why I'm thinking, how do you convince people that Fibrous is more, what would you say, more cheap compared to centralized exchanges?
For comparing with the centralized exchanges, actually, maybe you can mention many things about why you should use the DeFi. It can be a part of the to have a own your custody as a non-custodial way, or to having a really be part of the money Legos and having a different opportunities at the same time. because in the centralized manner, maybe you need to register many different things. You cannot connect everything together. You cannot solve a fragmented liquidity like that because you are need another platform, but it's also has a centralized capability. But I think if you wanted to mention about what's the advantages of using Fibrous against the centralized exchanges, that just imagine like you have a token wanted to trade in a network like a Starknet scroll or base, and you don't have to take a look which centralized exchange have already listed that, or what's the best way of to trading it that, or you don't have to take a look to situation of the liquidity pools to finding the best way of that. You just have a contract address and you are just going to a one platform with a simple interface for trading as best within the different manners. But when it comes to using just one decentralized exchange, it's had to be deployed on the one of the DEXs. Or when it comes to centralized exchanges, you are just waiting for to having a good liquidity level or having have been listed before in there. It can be the one of the best way of the using the DEX aggregators and having the mentality of that, because platforms like that, especially Fibrous, is looking to all the liquidity and the liquidity data, token data in a network. So it's giving you a chance to making every trade in a one way. So yeah, that can be a good opportunity to using the, you don't have to carry and concern many things about to taking and look to different details. You just have a contract address or you know the name of the token and you are going straight forward to a platform.
Fantastic, fantastic. I really like what you talk about it. One of the things I also wanted to mention is when it comes to partnership on Starknet. Oh, it's on my screen, so I know your partner with there's Jeddah Swap, there's Ekubo, there's Nostra, there's MySwap. These are a list of people that are you're integrated with. How has it been, as someone that is in the BD department? How has it been, getting integrated with these people and partnering with them?
Especially for the decentralized exchanges and especially for the automated market makers, uh, the aggregators have a mutual relationship with them because when it comes to integrating a liquidity source, and especially if you have a good chance to having like names like Ekubo, Heiko, or Jedi Swap, like OG, these AMMs together, it's giving you a good chance to having a really good execution level. But at the same time, if you are able to give a road to different liquidity sources at the same time while giving the best execution, it will give a chance to having a fees to the pool of these liquidity sources. So it's important to keeping this mutual relationship between two aggregators to typical DEXs. So within integrating them and having all of them together within seamless integration is the one of the best way of the keeping that partnerships. So to say just like a partnership with decentralized exchanges can be a bit less because it's like giving the nature of the aggregating, because especially with automated market makers, that's the one of the really fundamental liquidity source have been added to aggregator. And that's the thing, we had a good opportunity in the Starknet. The name like that has gave a chance to having a good vision of the integrating that, because we found a chance to seeing a different type of the liquidity sources at the same time in the Starknet. And maybe like a Ecubo can be like one of the really complicated and at the same time a visionary approach for us, because within that integration, we just got a capability and the experience of the integrating newcomers and the new decentralized exchanges in the different networks. And it's making for us to a way more easier after integrating one complicated one, because we getting to experience of the integrating the much simplified version of that. So after the partnerships and the integrations within to Starknet, for example, in Base, was a way easier for us to integrate in Unicef v4 version 3 or Aerodromes pool, because we had a capability for scaling all the these liquidity pools while indexing these liquidity data at the same time. So we were a bit lucky to be a part of the Starknet at this manner, because within that partnerships and integrations, we got a chance to expand to different networks as a way easier.
Okay.
But I hope that
Okay.
was a good answer for you while asking about the general partnerships or the integrations.
No, I think it makes a lot more sense. Like it's well elaborated. And I was going to like say one of the things that I found very common amongst platform protocols on Starknet is there seems to be this synergy. This seems to be this mutual relationship between almost all the platforms on Starknet, especially those that I've come across and those that has been on the show. There's always something nice to say about the synergy between platforms on. There's no animosity or separation of interest. It seems like everybody is aligned. And I think that's also one thing you've echoed in your, or what would you say, experience in partnering with some of these platforms on Starknet.
Yeah. For the synergy, sometimes I'm feeling like the brother meme is making a much more sense in that way, because it's like we are still so early in the Starknet ecosystem, and feeling like in the ecosystem manner, we are just like a family. Everybody get to know each
Yeah.
other, having a good synergy, and to say a brother or sister is making a good sense for that, expressing
Yeah,
the
I
current
agree
situation
with
of the
that.
ecosystem right now.
True. Are there any new partnerships that we're expecting on the horizon?
Of course there is, and the upcoming days we will be released one by one. But to summarize the general context of the what can be the partnership is that right now we are pivoting to building a good and competitive solver on the base network, and basically it means that the Fibrous will be a part of the many of the intent protocols and intent-based protocols, while their executing level make it better. And we will be integrated of that. Right now, we are doing a few tests on the really most known DeFi platforms to be integrated with Fibrous. But upcoming days, we will be released with a good announcement, and I hope our community will be happy with that.
Yeah, I think that's one remarkable thing.
Their platform.
Yeah, so back to integrating with multiple networks. You started out with Starknet and then you've expanded to Base and Scroll. First question, what inspired this expansion to Base and Scroll?
From the very beginning, we were always feeling like the top priority should be the community feedbacks and the people's demand about to having a good roadmap with the people, because it will give a chance to get interacted with the communities as a product team. And after a good while in this Starknet, within a million of the transaction, within millions of the volume, everybody was feeling like it's a good era to have a good challenge on the EVM networks to see our capability and to compete with different DEX aggregators. So with this mindset, after a long time on the Starknet, we saw a strong demand from a broader audience who wanted to use a Fibrous interface on the EVM networks. And so we first tested our competitive price fetching on the Scroll network, because its Scroll was like a good era to testing ourselves within to less of liquidity sources integrated as soon as possible and to ship that. And where we launched successfully and then expanded to Base, where the DeFi is really thriving at these days. And moving forward, that we are really definitely planning to launch to new networks. We are tracking to many different metrics about what can be a way to building Fibrous in there. And there will be many new launches on the upcoming month. But we are also taking to taking care about having a solid steps about expanding to different networks, both in the business and the ecosystem manner. As for Starknet, and it will always stay as a somewhere we always wanted to mainly dedicate it that. But we also wanted to be approaching the people's demand on the EVM network side.
Oh, great, great. I mean, it's all about the mission has always been to scale up EVM in whatever capacity that is possible. Yeah, great. One thing I was going to ask, because I'm looking at what you guys have done. This is great innovation and reliability. You guys have come to be relied on across multiple platforms on Base, on Scroll, and on Starknet, of course. But how do you manage that? You know, it can be tricky managing those three platforms at the same time. And I'm wondering how have you guys managed to keep it all together? You know, that reliability and trust among your users.
Maybe it can be a parallel answer with your previous question because
Yeah,
Starknet will be give us a chance to onboarding a really high amount of the new users, gathering a million of the volumes and having a millions of the number of the transactions. And within that level, we have changed many things to in our product to having a good scale to and having a good tech to give an answer for the whole these huge demand of the people. And after a good while, we got ready for to be in front of the users and having a good scale to be within the different networks. So up for that, the scroll launch was a bit important for us because it was the first time we have changed to our interface again and to having a modular option and modular tech option to having a different endpoints, having a different interface, and having a different token list and almost doing everything as a modular way to showing as a multi-chain platform manner of the Fibrous. Because before that, it was a bit Starknet centric within our interface and within our tech level. But after a good while and building on the first time in the EVM, we have changed everything as to make it modular. And that's the reason why we are able to balancing right now. But to have a good reliability, it's always important, as I mentioned, having a good scale in the team and also having a good scale on your product. And we are always taking a care about to be able to configure everything well and not to be like overwhelmed into integrating to different networks or integrating to different sources at the same time. So it's nice to having and go forward within to step by step. But I hope in the near future there won't be any concerns about to integrating the new networks or the new things to Fibrous. That will be a way more easier to ship that, and we can go forward to having and onboard the new users to our DeFi approach.
Yeah, Jonah, I think it's been, I think your team, your Fibrous is, what you guys are doing is truly, to say the least, incredibly remarkable what you guys are doing. And I'm just happy to be, what would you say, part of people witnessing this growth and this development on Starknet and even for you, even beyond Starknet and onto Scroll. I'm looking at the platform and I'm excited. And this is not just me saying things. I'm actually excited about what is next for the platform. Can you give us a sneak peek into the future for Fibrous?
Of course. Actually, we are still feeling like a bit far away to our end game plan because we are believing that our goal should be like a vision to make everything as simplest and the most effective solution for users on-chain trade execution. And the idea and the iterations are changing day by day about to how the people can be make that better. There are many discussions in the infrastructure level to how people should use the networks and their on-chain interaction, for example. Just imagine like Starknet making a new update on their network, and the execution level is changing. And we also take care about to what can be a best way of to iterate with that. And it's also same for the EVM networks. Right now, there will be a Petro update, and there will be a many change will be on the execution level. And it's also giving us a chance to take a look and turn everything in a different way to execute the best trading. So to achieve this, we will expand our feature set and evolve our infrastructure, and this will be within to building a competitive solver. Right now, we are building a solver for protocol by protocol, which will be capable to integrate different way. But we are also taking a look to generalize intents for having a good solver to cross-chain platforms. And we are aiming to, and compared to current token swap platforms, we believe Fibrous' adoption by the other platforms will create a significant value for both users and those platforms. So by positioning Fibrous as a solver across multiple ecosystems, I can hint at upcoming partnership announcements and share a glimpse of our near-term plans. But if you are asking something different, I'm also down to give an answer for that. But for the near future, as both in the partnership and the product level, our main dedication will be about to having a good synergy with the intent protocols to get further within as a solver and to maintain Starknet as well.
Great, great. I'm sure. I mean, everybody will keep an eye on the platform. I'm sure as things evolve, we'll be seeing more. Perhaps even another episode where you give us an update on things will be required. But we'll see how it goes. I'm sure things are going to happen. So one thing, this is a trick question. Nobody ever answers it. No protocol ever answers it. Are we expecting a native token from Fibrous?
For native token, right?
Yeah.
I will give a really clean answer for that because
Okay.
if
Yeah.
you are following our co-founders Twitter, maybe you are getting a few ideas about that. There will be a Fibrous token.
Oh.
So it's something I wanted to give a clear answer. There will be a Fibrous token, and it will come at the right place and the right time. I'm not able to give some exact details
Yeah, of
about
course.
that. But beyond that, for the users, maybe I will say people should keep using Fibrous if they wanted to see a good advantage or to be part of this native token idea. I'm not able to give a really detailed things about that, but of course there will be a native token for our platform.
Oh, great, great. I mean, you're the only person that has seen to answer that question directly. Everybody seems to be dodgy whenever you ask a question. So I'm happy with.
I'm also getting used to finding the best way of how to dodge this question, because in any time when we go to conference or when we meet something in e-meet or in an in-person meeting, everybody's open to ask about that question. I'm also asking for the different protocols or the platforms. I was really curious about what are their
Yeah.
plans, because it's a really good way to see that in the 2025 and how the people are doing at TG is also giving an idea for us. So I really got used to hear that question, and I just wanted to give a clear answer for that, and I hope it is good for you.
Yeah, very good, very good. At least everybody has a heads up on what to expect and probably maybe even how to get into it, be part of it. Um, it's been an amazing session, I must say. I really enjoyed this, and I'm hoping we could have another one sometime in the future. But before we wrap things up, I do a segment. It's called the rapid fire session. So I'm just going to ask you just three questions, and you give me the first answer that comes to your mind.
Okay, please go further with that, and I hope I can give a good answer for your rapid fire questions.
Okay. So number one, favorite DeFi protocol besides Fibrous?
As a legacy protocol, I would say Curve, but right now it's Equo.
Oh, great. Expected that. Starknet or Ethereum mainnet for DeFi, which one?
Um, it's quite hard question. Starknet is really showcasing how the network has a capability for and scaling the huge potential. But if I give an answer for the right now, Ethereum main is still the headliner of the DeFi within the innovation and within the liquidity level and um, be an answer for the supply demand dynamics of the DeFi. So I would say Ethereum mainnet.
Great. Last one, best tip for DeFi traders on Starknet.
To be honest, I'm not the best person for asking that. When it comes to my portfolio, I'm feeling like, okay, I'm building on the DeFi, but as a DeFi trader, I'm not feeling the best, except by to having a good executions within the Fibrous and to following the low slippage. But if I give an answer to myself at the same time, always stick and be a patient about your fundamental analysis. If you are feeling like according to your fundamental analysis, something is not safe or not going well, because trust your uh, feelings and at the same time and be really patient with that, because especially for the DeFi side, many of the new narratives are pivoting to that area, and you are able to see that to literally millions of the tokens in a day, and everything is changing month by month. The discussion point of the ecosystems are changing, but if you wanted to be a survive in the whole these flow at the same time, I think the best idea is that to stick and wait your patiently for your fundamental analysis and follow the maybe especially for DeFi tokens, having a good ones for the fundamental protocols. But
Great.
it's a NF. Do your own research, take your own
Of
risk.
course.
I will do my
Of
verifications
course.
after all these advices. Yeah, always do your own research, have a good fundamental analysis, and for the projects and having a good portfolio, always choose fundamental ones within a good portion. But I would say for the DeFi tokens, not all of them. But for DeFi
Uh,
protocols, yeah, maybe you can take a look which one of them is the oldest one or the most legit one, and have a good traction one. And you are, especially for the DeFi tokens, maybe you are able to do a good fundamental analysis, because you can follow up a good metrics for maybe according to their traction and their market cap at the same time. But as I mentioned, do your own research. But mostly I'm trading on the DeFi tokens, and I'm not the best person for giving an answer for that. But yeah, to have a good analysis and to forward the fundamentals can be a legit idea for that.
it's been a powerful session, Jana. I'm so happy that you made our time to join us. Thank you very much for joining us today.
You're welcome. It was amazing to be in here. I'm just feeling like I had a good conversation with my friend, and I hope everybody got that vibe at the same time. Thank you for your good questions. And I just wanted to say, if you have any business questions or have a question about the Fibrous, the future plans, or any bugs you have saw on our front end, you can always hit me up by our socials. And I would like to invite everybody be part of this video, or who is watching it, that always feel free to join to Fibrous communities and be part of it. We are still feeling like there are many opportunities to do together, and do not hesitate to reach out any of us from our team to get a good idea together.
Oh, great, great. What I'm going to do is at the end of the video, I'm going to put the social handle so that anybody that wants to reach out to Fibrous can easily get to do that. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so happy.
Thanks a lot for you too, and wishing a good day for the Starknet Espresso watchers.
This has been an amazing conversation. Fibrous is doing the quiet hard work of making DeFi simple, fast, and fair. Thanks for tuning into Starknet Espresso. Make sure to like, subscribe, and we will catch you in the next one. Ciao.